What is grief, if not love persevering?
Welcome back to Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness provided us with so many awesome gifts. A cool Sam Raimi movie, the multiverse, variants, a compelling villain, cameos, and a lot more. But underneath all of that madness, there is a powerful message about the struggles that superheroes face in their everyday lives. One of the repeated questions in the movie is, are you happy?
Are you happy?
This question is at the heart of Multiverse of Madness. Stephen can't move on from the lost opportunity with Christine, the woman he loves in every universe. And Wanda wants to be with her kids, even if it means doing a forced multiversal adoption and killing countless people just to get what she wants. Now, the way Multiverse of Madness explores the need for happiness got me thinking about other superheroes in general. So we need to ask, can superheroes be happy? Is there any room for happiness when so many superheroes are burdened with the impossible weight of great power and responsibility?
I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy.
Before we answer this loaded question, let's first examine how the quest for happiness is depicted in Multiverse of Madness. Let's start with Stephen. He's one of the most powerful sorcerers in the universe. He has a thrilling life filled with battles against aliens and multiversal invaders, and at this point, he saved the world like 4 times. He found his true calling, so he should be happy, right?
Yeah.
2016's Doctor Strange was about Stephen finding a purpose. He lost the ability to perform miracles with his hands in the operating room, and this was like losing any meaning in his life.
Life without my work
Is still life. This isn't the end. There are other things that can give your life meaning.
But he found a new, meaningful purpose in being a hero, a protector of life. He chose to relinquish his selfishness and instead serve something greater than himself. Purpose was the main theme of 2016's Doctor Strange. It's such an underrated masterpiece, and I encourage you to watch our video about the film's true meaning. Also, Scott Derrickson, the director himself, retweeted it. We're really proud of that.
Death is what gives life meaning. To know your days are numbered, your time is short.
Stephen has a noble destiny, and for a while, it seemed to be enough. After all, finding your purpose equals happiness, right?
Because as we both know, without purpose, we would not exist.
But when we meet Stephen in Multiverse of Madness, he doesn't seem to be all that happy. Or maybe just getting fired from being Sorcerer Supreme broke Stephen, just like he almost broke all of reality with that memory spell, am I right?
Oh, it's funny.
There is a hole in Stephen's life, and that hole is the missed opportunity with Christine. In the first film, when he was at his lowest and darkest moment, Stephen pushed her away. As he learned to change and accept his flaws, Stephen realized just how important Christine is to him. But they never got a chance to be together. The life of the sorcerer was too demanding. How could he ever be with the woman he loves when he's crushed by the weight of his responsibilities to the world? And then he got dusted, losing 5 years of his life. While Christine, she moved on, and now she got married, she found happiness with another man, a man who's not Stephen. And when Stephen is at Christine's wedding, you can see the sadness in him. He knows that he lost the chance to be with the woman that he loves in every universe. In his first film, The Broken Watch, the one Christine gave him, represented his evolution in the movie. But now, the watch represented the lost time that he could never get back with Christine. This pain and unhappiness is more than the depression of a lost opportunity in time. This unhappiness is a void that can only be filled by one thing: love.
Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space.
So is the answer that simple? Is the one thing that every superhero is missing love? Well, to answer that, we need to explore the other emotional quest for happiness in the Multiverse of Madness, and that is Wanda's arc.
What is grief, if not love persevering?
Wanda turns to evil because she's missing her children in her life. And yes, it's because the Darkhold sort of corrupted her and maybe it's controlling her or something like that. WandaVision was about Wanda's inability to overcome the grief of losing Vision. That void was so painful that the only way Wanda could deal with it was to create her own fantasy world, a reality where she and Vision got their happily ever after. In that dream world, she becomes a mother. Billy and Tommy aren't real, but for Wanda, her kids and her husband are the realest things in existence.
I have what I want. And no one will ever take it from me again.
This dream world made Wanda happy. It's extremely unhealthy, of course. Wanda refused to deal with reality and instead she escaped it. But who wouldn't want to escape into a fantasy world where all of their pain is gone, where they can be happy without the constraints of their lives? Eventually, Wanda had to surrender her fantasy. The people of Westview suffered, and as a hero, she was compelled to do the right thing, give up on her family and turn her back on her own happiness. This is why she turns evil, because she never really overcame her grief. That pain only intensified after WandaVision because now she's lost Vision and her kids.
I sacrificed everything, and it meant nothing.
So, given a new opportunity to be with her children, this time for real, Wanda couldn't give up on her happiness once again. There is a black hole of depression in her life, and she believes that the only thing that can fill that void is her kids. Like Steven, Wanda suffers because of what she lost, what she simply cannot get back, no matter how many people she kills. The one thing she's missing in her life to be happy is love. So in the end, Steven and Wanda must let go of love to do the right thing. Steven understands that he can't be with Christine. He can't stop loving her, but he also can't be with her. Wanda has to give up on the fantasy of being with her kids after she understands how evil and lost this obsession made her. Both of them did the right and heroic thing by sacrificing what they wanted, the maddening need for the warm embrace of a loved one. But in the end of the movie, this heroic choice feels very bittersweet. As Steven says that the novelty of saving the world and doing the right thing might be fulfilling, but it's not enough to satisfy that void of unhappiness. And in the end of the movie, Steven asks Wong if he's happy, and he replies that sometimes he wonders about his other lives, but he remains grateful in his own life. This was the lesson that Steven learned in 2016's Doctor Strange, to find fulfillment in his newfound purpose.
To serve something greater than himself.
So I could have my hands back again. My old life.
And the world would be all the lesser for it.
But is there really no happiness and fulfillment? No way to enjoy life as a hero? Well, of course there is.
I just finally know what I have to do.
The majority of superheroes do find fulfillment in serving a great purpose, by helping people and doing the right thing. Many heroes love what they do. Being heroes is their true calling. When Steven is the hero, he's in his comfort zone. He knows what he's doing. His training and his skills kick in. Ironically, fighting a multiversal tentacle demon has become the norm for superheroes. When the day needs saving, everything becomes clear. It's sobering. It's a vivid vision of the simplicity of good versus evil. And usually, things are pretty black and white. The hero needs to defeat the bad guy, protect the innocents, and save the world.
Life seems so much simpler when you're fixing things.
In contrast, going to the wedding of the woman you love as a guest instead of the groom is a nightmare.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Life is very complicated, and many times it offers so many challenges and the way forward is never clear. And this is why the quest for happiness can be so hard. At times, that superhero life becomes a type of escapism. It's not too dissimilar from Wanda wanting to escape her reality in favor of a better one. But this longing for happiness and love isn't present just for heroes who live a double life. Take Loki, for example. He wasted so much of his life believing in his glorious purpose.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
He pushed everyone away, becoming the villain in his own family. But in the end, Loki realized that the one thing he truly needed wasn't a throne, but it was the love and acceptance of his family. And by the time he got it, it was too late. Variant Loki got a second chance, and he also believed in a glorious purpose. But then he fell in love, and everything in his life changed. And for a while, that seemed to make the God of Mischief happy. But love doesn't necessarily need to be manifested in a romantic relationship. Many heroes find fulfillment in their friends and family.
I used to have nothing, and then I got this family. And I was better because of it.
But things become very problematic when heroes can't find a healthy balance between their double lives.
Bruce, don't make me your one hope for a normal life.
Take Spider-Man, for example. When he swings around New York, he's at his best. But when he needs to be just Peter Parker, his life doesn't fall into place as neatly. How many Spider-Man movies dealt with Peter struggling with his superhero life? He constantly must sacrifice things that matter to him, like being unable to have stable relationships because of the demands of being Spider-Man.
With great power comes great responsibility. This is my gift, my curse.
And when you think about it, most characters are compelled by their heroism. Some are motivated by something positive, like Steve Rogers choosing to become Captain America because of a sense of duty.
There are men laying down their lives. I got no right to do any less than them.
Other heroes, though, are motivated by a great tragedy. Bruce Wayne became Batman because he blames himself for the death of his parents, and he vowed to dedicate his life to ensure that no other kid must go through what he did. Peter became Spider-Man for a similar reason after Uncle Ben died. And while it's a choice for these heroes, they rarely can go back on their decision. Living life as a hero becomes their reality. There is no way to go back to living a normal life. They are compelled by their responsibility.
Because that's what heroes do.
That's the main difference between being a superhero and a supervillain.
Gods don't have to choose. We take.
But that doesn't always mean unhappiness. But the obligation does mean that they can never live a normal life. They must sacrifice a normal life. They must give up on the things they want the most, like love.
I want a life of my own. You've been given a gift, Peter. With great power comes great responsibility.
Maybe this is the true source of unhappiness for heroes. Not that they can't be happy, but that they can't find a healthy balance between their lives.
Maybe you just can't stop yourself.
I don't want to stop.
As we established, most of these heroes are humans, or at the very least have human needs. They must carry the burden of great responsibility, of making the hardest decisions. Choices that shape the lives of the people they protect. Choices that can reshape the world. It's a lot to handle, the constant need to do the right thing, to fight bad guys, take action whenever the world is at risk.
Look, when you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
Heroes tend to stumble and fail, and when that happens, people suffer and die. And there's a whole other layer to that unhappiness when the hero's actions are the ones that cause the death of their loved ones. That pain never goes away, and that pain can transform into something dangerous and deadly. The heroes must find some impossible balance to live their lives without going insane and becoming the very villains they battle against.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
And sometimes it seems like the only way to break free of this loop and find true happiness is to stop being the hero altogether. Steve Rogers is probably one of the best heroes in the world. He is the ideal of what a good man should be. By becoming a man out of time, Steve lost any sense of a normal life. There is no difference between being Steve Rogers and Captain America. They are one and the same.
Family, stability. Guy who wanted all that went in the ice 75 years ago. I think someone else came out.
And despite that, Steve longed for some happiness outside of his duty. He found it in his friends, having a sense of fulfillment and fighting for the people that he cared for. But in the end, Steve chose to put down the shield. Feeling that he gave everything he had, he chose to live out his time and get a second chance with Peggy in a different timeline. Finally find normalcy and be with the woman that he loves. So I guess Steve is proof that in the end, even the best and most committed heroes cannot be fulfilled with a heroic life for long. Eventually, something stronger, something human is needed to fill that void of happiness.
This is what life looks like. A home, people who love each other. You should take a moment and feel it.
Retirement seems to be the key for superheroes to find that happiness, because we see the same thing with Bruce Wayne in Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, which is probably the best retirement outcome for Batman since he usually tends to grow old and grumpy, living his life with regret over his tragic life. So, yeah, this video kind of got depressing.
Not sad, you idiot. I'm pissed off.
You can also choose to look at things in a more positive light. Superheroes are fictional characters. They exist in fantasy worlds. Their stories can only be propelled by conflict, by challenges, and many times by tragedy. And the truth is, the majority of modern heroes are actually far from being happy, or at the very least, most of them lack true happiness. And that's because of the nature of modern storytelling. These stories are there to show that great power and responsibility are very heavy burdens. Being a hero isn't supposed to be easy.
What more could I lose?
No one wants to watch a movie or read a comic about a hero who's happy because it's kind of boring. The point of a hero is to overcome things, to endure and improve. And the fact that so many heroes overcome their happiness and strive to do the right thing, no matter what, well, that's an inspiration. It's a lesson to us to strive to do better in our lives, despite the things that make our lives harder.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Wong's final words provide some optimism. He might think of how his life could be different, but he at least is grateful for the life he has. He accepts reality for what it is, and he doesn't let his mind wander into all the missed opportunities and all the things he lost. Yes, Stephen lost his chance with Christine, and yes, Wanda lost her kids. But a loss doesn't define a person's whole being, nor their chance to find a new source of happiness. And that's what it means to be human. We all stumble, we all fail, we lose.
And usually life takes more than it gives, but not today. Today it's given us something. It has given us a chance.
To do what?
To give a shit.
Sometimes that sadness feels like a black hole, sucking in all the happiness of our lives. But the real superpower is to rise, not give up, keep moving forward. And that's what superheroes always do when they are knocked down. They get up and they never give up.
Why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
And maybe that's how a hero finds happiness, by pursuing it, by never giving up on the hope for a better tomorrow. Maybe happiness is like what Wong said. It's about being fulfilled by the things that you do, and not by the fantasies of other realities and the things that we've lost.
I have had an effect here. Vengeance won't change the past. People need hope, to know someone's out there for them.
In the end of the movie, Steven finally fixes the broken watch that Christine gave him. This represents Steven understanding that holding on to the past only makes him more unhappy. He needs to move forward with his life, be happy for Christine, and now go out there and find the things that will make him happy as well. So I guess that's the answer, isn't it? Superheroes can be happy. It's not easy, but like everything else in life, it is possible. And so, what do you guys think? Can superheroes be happy? Can you think of any examples? Let me know in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.